I'm Ella.
And I'm Tyler.
And this is the Oracle Sportscast.
On Saturday, Tennessee Tech fell to South Carolina State 22-20 in an absolute heartbreaker. Ella, this is a non-conference game, but it sucks to lose a game the way we did.
Yeah, it truly does because we have been on a roll recently. Our confidence was built up, and then to lose by a missed field goal, that one's gonna hurt a little bit.
Yeah, and the missed field goal, going back to it for just 1 second, that's just an unfortunate play because Dom LeBlanc has been really good. He's been solid in the kicking duties so far this year. It's just a shame that, sometimes the ball just doesn't go through the uprights, and it had to happen at that moment.
Yes, and he is not our usual kicker.
Right.
Our main kicker's out with injury right now, so it's just tough to put him in that situation, such a eager situation to be in.
That's tough for a young guy. Like you said, I think he's either a freshman or a redshirt freshman. That's a tough situation to be put in. As far as the game recap goes, SC State started out up 13-0. They jumped on us pretty quick. To me, the momentum shift, though, in the game to kind of bring the game back to Tech's favor was the blocked field goal. And then we scored on that ensuing drive. Potts dropped back and threw it to Jay Parker for a 79-yard touchdown.
Yeah, Jay Parker ended up with 80 yards. So that 79-yard touchdown did him good. But going back to the missed field goal, they actually had 2 blocked field goals, which I'm very impressed with. I've not seen Tech do that in a while. So I don't know if that was on their kicker, if that was on our special teams. If that was special teams, then look at us go.
A good special teams unit can win you some games. So
and you can see that in the missed field goal. They can win or lose you a game right there.
That's true. Yeah, that's very true. Like I said, it was 13-0 early. They kind of hit us on some quick screens, quick tunnel screens there in the first quarter. Their receivers are fast. I'm talking about SC State's receivers. They are fast.
Yes, they have a great offensive team.
They do.
Their QB to the receivers, they're a good team.
The passing attack for SC State was on point for sure. I think Eric Phoenix, their quarterback, had 412 yards passing in the entire game.
That is insane.
That's a lot of yards. But like I said, we answered with Jay Parker. We gave him a little bit of a taste of their own medicine. He took one over the middle for 79 yards and outran their secondary. So that kind of made the game a one-possession game. Instead of them going up 16-0, we blocked that field goal. And then, like I said, we got that touchdown after that. And then in the second half, I felt like the defense played a little bit better. They tightened up in the secondary a little bit, and they didn't let up as many big plays in the second half.
Yeah, for sure. The first half, I felt like our defense was, you could say, asleep more than they usually are. I mean, we've been talking about how our defense is helping our team's momentum. I feel like this game, it just wasn't our typical Tennessee Tech defense that we've been seeing all season. But I did see them start picking it up in the second half, which was nice to see, and hopefully that can be rolled over into next week's game and we don't fall back to our old defense.
Exactly. I think SC State, they came out ready to play for sure. Another play as far as on Tech's offensive side of the ball, they'd fumbled on the first drive, so that was a momentum shift right there, and SC State was able to take advantage of that and jump out to an early lead. But like you said, the defense did not play 4 full quarters on Saturday. They played a good second half. They forced 3 turnovers, which was that kind of helped Tech stay in the ball game there, especially toward the end of the game.
Yeah, I feel like that helped our momentum a lot, and this was a game where we needed a lot of things to go in our way, especially towards the end, because we did have to come from a deficit. So I just hope that we can be the Tech team that we have been seeing going into next week's game, and not against the team that we saw against SC State.
Right. Yeah. Like we keep saying, that we've talked about this defense a lot this year on this podcast. Turnovers have been something that's not been hard to come by defensively. I felt like so far this season, Tech's done a pretty good job on the offensive side of the ball, not turning the ball over. Had 3 turnovers on Saturday.
Yeah, so defensively, I felt like where we saw we were causing turnovers was pretty consistent. I'm glad that we did still see that aspect. But offensively, we haven't been seeing turnovers as bad. But this game, I felt like it was a little heavy on the turnovers.
Right, and the coaches, they always talk about winning the turnover battle. You hear that term thrown around a lot, but it's the truth. If you can win the turnover battle, you got a much better chance of winning the game. And Tech's done a pretty good job of that up to this point. Saturday, like I said, three turnovers for each team, so it kind of negated itself. But offensively, we weren't able to run the ball as well as we were the week before, but we had 340 yards against Gardner-Webb. It's hard to match that. I think they would have liked to do that, obviously. The game plan going in looked like they wanted to get a little bit of run game established, but there wasn't much there.
Yeah, both sides, both teams, you saw that it was mainly a passing game. There was not really much run. If you did run, you'd get 5-10 yards at the most.
Right.
But you definitely saw this as more of a passing game.
Yeah, and both teams, like we said, threw the ball really well. We mentioned Phoenix had 400-plus yards passing, which is insane.
He threw it very well.
He threw it very well.
He threw it very well.
And then on the other side for Tech, Potts had a pretty good game throwing the ball. He had 296 yards. I'm sure that's close to, if not his career high in
I
passing
do believe
yards.
it is his career high.
That sounds about right. But like we keep going back to the turnovers, it just felt like the game was very back and forth, especially in the second half. When one team would turn the ball over, the other team would match that turnover. They'd turn it over too.
Yeah.
So it was a very close game in the second half. The big plays in the fourth quarter, to me, were Potts threw an interception. He threw it over the middle, and the ball got shot up straight in the air, picked off by SC State. But on the defensive side of things, on SC State's offensive possession after that pick, Tim Kutris was able to punch the ball out, get a fumble, and Miles Parker jumped on that fumble, which was a huge momentum play in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I feel like towards that fourth quarter we were starting to lose our momentum a little bit because we were struggling. But I feel like that play really kicked us off. And neither team scored in the fourth quarter, and I feel like these big plays were the ones that kept both teams' momentum going.
Yeah, absolutely. When Potts got the ball picked off, it really wasn't his fault. Like I said, the ball got tipped up in the air. When that happened, you kind of felt like, okay, that might be the nail in the coffin.
That might be
there.
the game, yeah.
That might be it. But then, like I said, a leader on defense, Tim Kutris, punches the ball out, and then big Miles Parker jumps on it. So that was fun. That was good. It kind of
he was very excited about that.
Oh,
if you
yeah.
watched it,
I
yeah,
don't
he
blame
was
him.
very excited.
The big fella getting the fumble recovery. That's a big play for the defensive lineman. But like I said, that's just cool to see the senior leadership taking over a game like that. It's just unfortunate that it ended the way it did. Like you mentioned, we got the ball. It was fourth down with about 20 seconds left. We kicked the field goal. We miss it. Luckily, there's a little bit of yellow laundry on the field. Referee says they were offsides. They had too many men on the field. We take the too many men on the field penalty, get a first down. We run the ball a couple times, get it a little bit closer, kind of position it the way we wanted it. And then with 2 seconds left, last play of the game, and the ball just sailed left.
Yeah, that too many men on the field's on a flag. You see very often in college
No,
football. They had way too many. We counted it was way too many, but you really don't see that much. But it was a heartbreaker losing last minute to a field goal. And honestly, watching the game, I feel like that isn't Tech football and what we've been seeing recently, the way we performed. So I'm hoping this was just like a little hiccup game, and we'll be able to come back and battle these upcoming weeks.
Right. I agree with you on that one. And luckily, like we said earlier, it's non-conference game, so it doesn't affect that 2-0 record.
And we're still ranked first in the conference, which is nice.
Exactly. We're tied with SEMO, who we play this Saturday. They're a good football team.
That's going to be a great game. We just have to come out and play the Tech football that we have been playing and not last week's football.
If we can get the run game going, the ground game going like we did against Gardner-Webb, and play defensively like we did in that game, Tech can beat a lot of teams in the country. But it's hard to get everything to come right on that one game like it did against Gardner-Webb.
Yeah, Tech's running game definitely needs to be more present this coming week because I didn't see large presence with that, and it was mainly passing, but that was both sides, so that might have just been the game.
Exactly. That was just kind of the style that the game was trending towards. I liked seeing Potts throw the ball a little bit more. It kind of showed that we're not one-dimensional on offense, which is nice. But like you said, preferably you want to stick to your bread and butter, which is running the ball, playing good defense, and just being more physical and more tough than the team across the side, across the football. That's what Tech's been doing all year.
But going into SEMO this coming week, I do hope that we see the old Tech football team come out. And I feel like this will be a great battle if we can play like we have been playing and not like last week.
I agree. They're going to need to bring their A game. SEMO's 5-1 right now. And like you said, they're also 2-0 in the conference. They've got the best record in the OVC as it currently stands. Their quarterback has thrown for almost 1,700 passing yards through 6 games.
Yeah, we're going to have to get back there.
Yeah, we're going to have to send pressure.
Yeah.
I think he's got 16 touchdowns and 4 picks. And to put that into perspective, that's over double what the yards that Potts has, over double the touchdowns, and just 1 more pick than Potts has. So they're throwing the ball really well. So we're going to have to game plan for that going into the game. And like you said, get pressure and tighten up in the secondary as well.
That's definitely a team I would make run the ball. I would not. I'd have some deep coverage if he's passing the ball like that.
Yes, like you said, make them run the football to beat you. Absolutely. Well, I think that's all the time we have for the day. Send us home, Ella.
I'm Ella.
And I'm Tyler.
And this has been the Oracle Sportscast.